Yo guys, what's going on? Rio here, and guys, listen, I want to talk to you guys about this. I want to help some people out. This is going to be mainly for new players, or maybe some casual players might find some enjoyment in this also. All right, so here's the thing. um I need for my new players, or just the casual players, not to be running around here with these Dollar General builds, these quick fixer-uppers. Listen, man, I need you guys to learn how to build properly, and this is why I'm here. So I'm in a mission, and I have this, it was this Ash player that's talking to me, and he's telling me how he wrecks and how Ash is trash, how he used to wreck with Ash and how Ash is trash. And I'm like, what's your build? So he's telling me to build, he screenshots me to build, and I'm like, why in God's name on the mystic mountain of this blue earth do you have equilibrium on Ash? Now this is the second Ash player I've seen with equilibrium on, and I'm just over here like, what in God's name are we seriously doing right now? Because I don't understand what's really going on, because there's just some stuff we need to stop, because that's like putting power strength on Loki. I don't understand what is going on. So I really am going to try to help new players on what to do, on how to go about building. I just really want you guys to get it, man, because you guys are out here with these save a lot builds, and it's not working. I mean, these Texaco gas station builds, these put 3 in the tank because you ain't got $5. Listen, man, guys, let's just go into it, because I want you guys to learn on my channel, like I've said. So I want to help you guys to the best of my ability. All right, so let's go ahead and try to take a look at this. Right, so this is an XCal, right? This is an XCal. I try to go with the poster boy for this one, because you guys all know XCal. I have everything off, as you can see my stats in the bottom right. Don't look at my power strength, it's 115. That's just because of the arcane helm. So here's the thing. So when we take a look at an XCal, right, most of the time when you're going to Forma, guys, you got to know what you're forming for, right? You got to know what's the purpose in why you're forming this frame. What mod are you trying to get on, right? So let's go ahead and look at this. Now these are my aura mods, right? Most of the time I'm going with probably either steel charge or enemy radar, it doesn't matter. So for this discussion, let's just go ahead and put this in here, right? So we have this in here, and as you guys can tell with the aura mod, what happened was, when I take it out or put it in, I have 60 space, but when I put this in, I go to 67. I get even more, if I form the aura mod spot, but I want to keep it at this level. It's just me for my XCal build, right? So you will get more if you former it. So the thing is, you want to put the correct mods in the correct spot. So you see right here, I have a dash. A lot of people like to call it Naruman ever since the name came out. Listen, it's a dash. And so I will go over here to another dash mod, and what that would consist of is just me. See, this one can Constitution, basically it costs 13 points, 13 mod capacity basically. So it's a lot, it's a very expensive mod. So I would put that one in the correct spot, and it will have the amount of what it would usually take. So it would make it to where I have more mod capacity, and I can fit more cards onto my Warframe, right? So if it doesn't go into the correct spot, this is what happens. It takes 13 instead of 7, I think it was, right? You see that? So that saves you a ton of mod space that you want to mod for. So listen, let's say I'm building an XCal, right? And I'm like, okay, I want duration and efficiency, right? So in my mind, that's already telling me if I want duration and efficiency. Duration mods, there's only 3 types of duration mods. You have a dash duration, you have a D, give the D duration, right? You have narrow minded, and then you have a V, which is prime continuity, or just let me not get too fancy, or maybe just continuity for some newer players. So it's one of those that you want to go for. Now if you're going for a corrupted build, remember corrupted mods have a negative effect. So if you want a neutral build, if you don't have all the full corrupted mods to do it, then you definitely want to go with a continuity build, you know. So it's just basically knowing what you're after. If you want duration, and you don't have enough mod spot, you're gonna see that, okay, duration is gonna be a V that I put on there. And I would always say, if you're trying to do duration and you don't have enough formulas, go with a continuity over a per se constitution, because one, you will get more duration, right? You will get more duration, and the thing about it is it's a lot cheaper for you guys that's just starting out, that don't have enough formulas. So definitely that's the way a lot of people started out, is with continuity. And then when you start progressing in the game, you start getting your formulas up, then you're like, you know what, man, I'm out here semi balling, I'm almost at the top, so let me go ahead and drop a constitution in there just like I feel like it, you know. So that's basically what you want to aim for in the game. Now, the other thing about this is, how do I know which mod goes on a Warframe, right? That is the thing. How do I mod to know which mod goes on a Warframe? And before I jump into that, let me show you guys how you form it. This is how you form it. You're gonna go here, you're gonna go to your polarity, right? You're gonna look for which polarity you want on this Warframe. So you're gonna hit you're gonna basically go till you see you got a V. You can put a V, you can put a D, you can put a dash, or what. You never Forma, I'm gonna tell you this, never Forma for this, and I think this is for the augments. For your augments, never freaking Forma for an augment. Please, God, don't. I don't care who tells you, well, Life of Real, I Forma for an augment. Don't Forma for an augment ever. Don't do it, because you don't know when a Warframe could be changed. Whatever the case is, augment is a very cheap mod. It's only 9 points, right? So you never want to Forma for augment. You want to Forma for maybe things like intensify, transient fortitude, vitality, shields, bigger things like that. That's more important than narrow-minded. So never Forma for this. Now I'm gonna tell you this now. Even though I say never Forma for this, I am a contradiction when it comes to one of my builds, which is Necros, because that guy uses so many of his augments. So that's the only excuse. There's no other Warframe that you need to form for the augment like this for. All right. So, and my Necros build was very specific to my standards, so it was killing me. I had to do it. But other than that, never Forma for an augment, guys. So that's how you do it, and then you would apply to what you would want. And if you would want to change, if you would like to change a polarity that's already there that you don't need, you would just go over that polarity, and as you can see, it's a V, but then I can change it to whatever I wanted to. So that's how you do that right there. So like I was saying, how do you know which how to mod for the frame? How do you know when you get a frame what you're gonna mod for, right? So you will go and you will hit the stats. You will hit the stats. This is very important, and you would read, because this is how you basically understand. It says slash dash, you know, dash between whatever, whatever, whatever. You don't even need to know most of that. Some of them you need to read, but you don't need to know most of it. What you need to see is that it does damage, it's affected by damage, and it's affected by power range. So you know for a fact that that move uses stretch and intensify, right? Those are two mods that buff that ability. Now you have Radial Blind. You would look there, you see it's a blind move, but you also see what it's affected by. It's affected by power duration and power range. So that's a constitution or a continuity and stretch once again. Now you also have Radial Javelin. Radial Javelin, what is it affected by? It's affected by damage, number of javelins, and power range. So what you would do is that you see these numbers, right? You see these numbers. What you want to do is put some mods on, right? You put some mods on and you just play around with your build, right? So you put this on, let's say you put on an intensifier, right? And you put on a continuity. So you will come back, you will now go back to your stats, you will see what it's affected by. You put those two mods on, and then you will click the updated stats to show you what it's looking like with your mod. And then once you do that, you see, okay, well, my duration went up from on Radial Blind from 15 to 19.5. Okay, I'm doing good. I see the progress. My damage from Radial Javelin went up from 1000 to 1450. Oh my god, I'm gonna be killing level 20s real quick, right? So that's what you're thinking right there. That's just how the basics on how you get going. And then see guys, the great thing about this is if you don't have the semi locker room unlocked, then yes, you go into real missions and test it. So you go there and you test your builds and you see what works and you see what doesn't. And now a lot of people will say, oh, Radial Javelin doesn't really need the damage because you're going to use Exalted Blade. Listen, this is for you to test and for you to find your personal playstyle. If somebody says that something doesn't work, even myself, go ahead and test it to see if it works for you, man. I just want you guys to learn how to build properly and just the right foundation on how to go about it. And that's just the way of starting. Now, let me tell you guys this other key importance, right? Now, on most frames, you're always going to need efficiency. Even though I just said on most frames, you're going to have the guy in the comment section, well, I go negative efficiency on my chroma. Okay, bro. All right. So here's the thing. So you want efficiency, right? Now, a lot of people always ask me, why don't I use a max fleeting expertise? Now, here's the thing. Never use a max fleeting, because it has a double, it's a positive and a negative. So if most frames use duration, so here's the thing. It has 60% efficiency when it's maxed out, but you're hurting your duration, so that would make it to where you need to put on 2 mods to basically counteract what's going on, right? So I always go with a rank 9. Now, a lot of YouTubers and just a lot of people that I see used a rank 5 fleeting expertise, and then they will go with a rank 1 from the top streamline, which basically makes no sense to me, because the max efficiency cap is 175. You see how my efficiency is glowing right there? It says 170, 170%. Now, the thing about it is that if you put this at 50% power efficiency and then it takes away 50% power duration, I don't think it's needed, because 10% actually scales. Having negative 50% actually is pretty bad on some Warframe. So I always keep it at 40 and then keep a max streamline at 30, and it will give you 170. So that means you're only missing 5 on your power cast on your abilities, which always on my builds, you never on one of my builds ever see 175 power efficiency. I always just go 170, because on some frames that extra 10% actually scales pretty well, because it depends on the type of frame on how well it's gonna scale. Now, the thing about that is, man, is that that's the cap. A lot of people go like a max. I see a lot of new players that go max fleeting and a max streamline. There's no need. You're wasting mod space. Never do that. You're wasting mod space. All right, guys. So that's just one thing that you always want to understand when you're building. Now, there's a lot of things, like when you start getting way better at the game, you can take out that fleeting and just keep a streamline, you know, and you could just go with 130 because you have a stronger weapons. You know how to utilize your powers a lot better. And at the same time, when you get really beast, you could just be like, you know what, man, take off that streamline, because I'm out here flexing right now and I really just want to put on something else, some extra damage mods, some extra survivability mods. I don't need that. I'm already soloing up to an hour plus. I got this. And then when you really bossed up at the game, you can come to yourself and just tell yourself, like, you know what, bro, go negative power efficiency. Now listen, don't go crazy. I'm actually being serious, but I'm joking at the same time. But on some frames, you can go negative power efficiency. You can go negative power efficiency on chroma. You can go negative power efficiency on, let's say, a mirage. There's a lot of different frames that you can go negative power efficiency on, but it has to suit your playstyle. And basically countering that with like generic focus school. It's just a lot of different tactics on how you go about it. But I really do hope this kind of helped you guys, basically the new players, and I hope the information was useful for you guys, just to help you guys out a ton. Quick Christmas gift, man. I don't want you guys to be going into these missions for Christmas just getting wrecked with Equilibrium on Ash and Transient Fortitude on Loki. All right, guys, I want you guys to just go about it doing correctly. And remember, just look at your stats on the frame, see what helps, see what doesn't, and that just basically will judge it and try to help you out a lot better. So like I said, if this really helped you guys, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And if you just thought the information was useful, and if you thought the video was just there to, you know, just help players in general, and I will catch you guys later on the next Warframe video. Transient Fortitude on Loki. God damn. The equilibrium on Ash just killed me. I'm not. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, why?